Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to committee meeting this morning. Welcome everybody else that's in the boardroom here this morning and everybody's virtual. We will have public comment at the beginning of the meeting on everything that's on the agenda. And then we'll have another public comment at the end of the meeting if you want to adjust the board on the agenda items or whatever you want to adjust the board on. With that there, I'll call the meeting order this morning. We'll have prayer this morning by Commissioner Bardwell, pledge of allegiance by Commissioner Lutz, then roll call by Madam Clerk Fiden.
All those who'd like to join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, as we come to you this morning, we once again come to praise and honor and glorify your name and the things that you do this day. We pray it brings you honor and glory. We come to you, Lord, knowing that you renewed mercy and grace each day according to the word, and we count on that each day, for each day is anew. And we pray, Lord, starting out for our nation and state governments, we pray for the blessings you've given us through them. We ask for continued peace that you've given us, and we pray for righteous decisions. We pray for the counties and the states, and especially this county, all the employees who serve the public, and we pray for blessings upon them. Be your will. Pray for the board, commissioners, for their needs and their family. We just ask to be with them for each one, for what they need, what they stand in need for. We lift up our prayers for all those in our hearts and minds that may be in poor spirit or health. We just, our families or otherwise, we just ask to bless them with your healing mercies, their spiritual direction. We pray that you are with them. And Lord, this morning, as we conduct business, we ask that you give us wisdom, that we make the decisions that are to the benefit of those that we represent. Be with us furthermore in all we do and say. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Roll call, please.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm going to have Deputy Clerk Pisha do roll call this morning.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioner Goodchild. Commissioner Bardwell.
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Here.
Commissioner Lutz.
Here.
Commissioner Cook. We have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you. Okay, adoption of the agenda. Anybody got anything they would like to add to the agenda this morning?
Did you want to, I think we're going to remove the clerk copy request, Chairman, and we're going to move that to the September 11th meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's
Number 4 under new business.
I believe that is correct. Yep. So we'll go ahead and we got the figures around late last night. So Eric and I is going to work a little closer on those before we address that.
Okay, so we're just going to remove number 4 then.
Just remove that and we're going to put it on the September 11th meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the agenda as presented with taking out number 4 in the new business.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Lutz, support by Commissioner Bardwell to move to adopt the agenda as presented, taking out number 4 under new business. There's any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The adoption of the agenda has been passed. Action on previous meeting minutes.
Chair, I move to adopt the meeting minutes from the August 14th, 2025 regular meeting.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Lutz, support by Commissioner Bardwell to move to adopt the meeting minutes from August 14th, 2025 regular meeting. Any more discussion on minutes? Here, none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That has been approved too. Brief public comment period. Anybody want to address the board on the agenda items this morning? Before we get started? Anybody want to address the board this morning on anything on the agenda this morning? Let the record show, please, that brief public comment period was offered and we had no participants this morning. Move on to the consent agenda.
Chair, I move to the consent agenda minutes and the consent agenda items in the August 25th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting be adopted.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Bardwell, to move that the consent agenda minutes and the consent agenda items from August 25th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting be adopted. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Consent agenda has been approved. Move on to new business. The request to add entry-level pre-bar admission steps to the prosecutor's attorney wage scale, Erica Wally, prosecuting attorney.
Morning, Chairman.
Good morning.
Morning,
Morning.
Commissioners.
Good morning.
Last time I came before you was in December of 2024. At that time, I asked you to approve Mr. Reen to stay on in my office as an assistant prosecuting attorney because we have lost a prosecutor. I have done everything I can to keep him in the office as long as possible, but I believe that all of you know that his last day with our office is coming up on August 31st of 2025. Unfortunately, I have been unable to secure a replacement for his position. With him retiring, actually, this time, our office is losing 32 years of experience and leaving us down to 4 full-time prosecutors. We're all working long hours and weekends in an effort to maintain the standards that our office holds. However, it is taking a toll on all 4 of us. We desperately need to keep our office afloat and keep the citizens, victims, and law enforcement of this county experiencing the same level of dedicated prosecution that they have come to expect from our office. Despite my best efforts at seeking applicants, my office has not received a single employment application for an assistant prosecutor since January of 2025. Unfortunately, this is not uncommon across the state. There are still 2 counties with no elected prosecuting attorney. The last time I was here, there were 3. At that time, it was Luce, Ontonagon, and Antrim. Ontonagon and Antrim have been able to fill those positions. Luce has not. Luce is still without an elected prosecutor. And currently now Lake County is without an elected prosecutor. In 2024, the person who ran for elected prosecutor in Lake County won, and after 6 months in office has resigned. So now Lake County is also without a serving elected prosecutor. Last week, I attended the PM annual conference up in Mackinac Island. Almost every discussion that I had with every single elected prosecutor I spoke to started with the same question: are you fully staffed? And the answer was a resounding no the majority of the time. I have for you all, if I could come up there. This is what is currently posted
Thank you.
on the Prosecuting Attorneys Association website for open positions across the state of Michigan for assistant prosecutors, chief assistant prosecutors, and elected prosecutors. I did a count this morning before I came in. There are 37 counties, and that's excluding any tribal governments, that have open prosecutor positions posted on the PM website. That's 45% of the 83 counties in the state of Michigan are seeking prosecuting attorneys. Tuscola County needs something to give us an advantage in a sea of open positions across the state. I'm requesting to add a step 0 to my APA pay scale that could be filled with law school graduates who have yet to pass the bar exam. On July 29th and 30th of this year, hundreds of law graduates, took the Michigan bar exam and are currently awaiting their bar results, which are likely to come out in October of this year. Currently, I don't have any means to employ any of these graduates without them having passed the bar. I'm requesting to add a step 0 to my pay scale for my APA pay scale in the hopes that I can attract some of these law student graduates with employment while they await their bar results. Additionally, the ability to hire a law clerk would benefit my workload, the workload in my office and workload distribution incredibly. A law clerk would be able to assist with legal research, draft motions, draft appellate briefs, and any other pleadings that could be reviewed by the prosecutors in my office before being submitted. These are things that we are struggling to keep up on right now, as most of our days are spent in court. We are spending our nights and our weekends away from our families to answer appellate briefs, to answer motions, to charge cases. It's just, we're spending a lot of time outside of working hours trying to keep up with only 4 of us. If I had a step 0 that would allow me to hire a law clerk, it wouldn't require any additional funding from this county. it would only use money that's already in my budget. It would use the money that's already there for an APA. I have 2 open positions now. Well, once Mark's done on August 31st, I will have 2 open positions. And it would use the money from those positions to fund a law clerk. There would be no add additional funds to my budget, and there would be no longevity to the state of my budget either. I'm requesting to add this so that I can hopefully try to attract some graduates to come to our county. And then once they pass the bar, they would be bumped up to an APA step 1. So at this time, I do have a copy. I'm not sure if it was given out of what the job posting would look like. Was this included? Okay.
You can still provide it if they'd like.
Thank you.
This is what I would hope to post on the PAM website in hopefully an effort to attract those who are waiting for their bar results but can't get a job until they get them. So I'm motioning this board to approve the addition of a step 0 to my APA pay scale that could be filled with law school graduates to serve as law clerks until they pass the bar. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Any questions for Erica on what her request is?
I don't.
That's gotta be one of the toughest areas out there in the whole state of Michigan right now is prosecuting attorneys,
It's really difficult.
especially if it's MIDC came in.
With the disparity in pay that
It's
we
just
compared to MIDC.
It's a one-way
no
street.
comparison.
Yeah.
When I, as a side note, when I applied into Schola County to be a prosecutor, I applied to every single county that was open at the time. While I was funding my bar results, there were 8. Now there are 37.
Mhm.
So
Chairman,
Yes.
is that the result of the MIDC partially, fully?
partially, I think it plays a large part. The pay disparity is just so much different. When I came before the board last, I don't remember if it was August or September, and talked about the pay disparity. From what I recall, you can come out of law school and go do misdemeanors on an MIDC contract and make double my salary as the elected prosecutor. So
Very well.
difficult to compete with that. It's difficult to compete county funds with state funds.
So Chairman, I noticed there wasn't a motion unless my sheet doesn't have one. Do
Yeah,
you
it's
have
got a
one?
motion. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a motion here.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the addition of the lower entry level step
Page 3. There you go.
assistant prosecutor pay scale to be applied to an individual hired into the position with a Juris Doctorate degree from an accredited law school, but who has not yet passed the state bar examination. Step shall carry a reduced annual salary rate of $50,000 for the employees to be advanced to step 1 of the pay scale effectively immediately upon passing the bar exam.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner, excuse me, it's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Barrow to move to approve the addition of the lower entry level step to the assistant prosecutor pay scale to be applied to an individual hired into position with a Juris Doctorate degree from an accredited law school, but who has not yet passed the state bar examination. The step shall carry a reduced annual salary rate of $50,000 per year with the employee to be advanced to step 1 of the pay scale effectively immediately upon passing the bar exam. There's the motion. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion's been approved.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Please.
Thank you.
Erica, can I have a copy of what you provided so I can prepare it for the other 2 commissioners?
Number 2 under new business, animal control promotion request, Tyler Ray, Animal Control Director.
I'll make copies for them.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning, Tyler.
Thank you so much.
So this is in response to a notice of resignation that I received last week from Animal Control Officer Miranda Weigel. She did leave her 2-week notice and is taking a job out of state. Her last day of employment with us will be September 2nd. So in response to that, I would like to make a request to promote Vince, full-time kennel attendant Vince Ferreira to our soon-to-be vacant animal control officer position. Vince was hired in as a kennel attendant back in January of 24. Over the next several months, he was able to complete his training through Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development to become Animal Control Officer certified. He's done ride-alongs with myself and other ACOs and is more than capable of fulfilling the shoes of the upcoming vacant ACO position.
Any questions for Tyler?
I do. Tyler, or
Yes.
someone, there is a Excel spreadsheet here, and perhaps this is a character question. At the bottom, net of revenues and expenditures is showing it. 8/31/2025, loss of 19,000 extended out beyond, like it has 35 or so thousand. What is this about? In relation to this request? It looks as if animal control is negative.
This is, one moment, my internet is not allowing me to pull it up, so I believe it is this, correct, Commissioner? This is what you're looking at? It's a two-page,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
thank you.
It's on the animal control. It was underneath Tyler's request or close to it.
Yes, it looks like they are. And this is more in relation, I believe, to the second request,
Yeah.
which is going to be
So
saving
is that
his
what it
budget
is?
some funds.
The next item on the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, it clicked. I know, it clicked through, but, all right, I'll save that question.
Well, I thought that react, what's the reality?
I went to the money. All right. Well, Chairman, this question, I know you're losing someone, relates to whatever's next on that spreadsheet. Does it not? In other words, I'm assuming this is a net effect in your budget. You're losing one, you're replacing another one.
Correct.
All right. I'll leave it at that.
The next one is in regards to that spreadsheet that you're talking about.
Yeah, all right. So if it's a net effect, I mean, there's no further expenditure outside of what's in your budget, which is, looks negative. Have no further questions.
If I may, will actually be a slight cost savings because this employee will be coming in at a lower step than the current incumbent. So she's at a higher step because she's been here longer. So with this promotion, it will save a minimal amount of funds on this year's budget because he's at a lower step.
But not 19,000.
No, not 19,000.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve per the recommendation of Animal Control Director Tyler Ray, promotion of the current full-time kennel attendant Vincent Ferreira to a full-time Animal Control Officer, ACO, at step 1 of the pay scale at the rate of $20.52 per hour, effective September 4th, 2025, due to a recent resignation.
I'll support that this time.
Has been moved by Commissioner Luce, supported by Commissioner Bilow, to move to approve per the recommendation of Animal Control Director Tyler Ray, the promotion of the current full-time kennel attendant Vincent Ferrari to full-time Animal Control Officer, ACO, at step 1 of the pay scale, at the rate of $20.52 per hour, effective September 4th, 2025, due to the recent resignation. That is the motion. Is there any more discussion on that?
Just Chairman, this is a good example of a transfer out that's in the process of working for the end of the year if the funds are replenished to 19 or 33, whatever it was. It's just an example. It'll have to be made up at the end out of probably GSP funds.
Commissioner, if I may, it's partially because his revenue has not all been receipted in yet. So the expected revenue for his fund is 419,000. We've only received 280.
Can I go to that spreadsheet then? Is that on that spreadsheet?
Yes, the budgeted revenues are 419,000. The received in to date is 282,000.
All right, so from that analysis, which I'm not on the spreadsheet at the moment, from that analysis, you're suggesting there will not be a transfer out of a general fund of some type to fill that gap.
Not as the budget is currently correct. That's correct.
No further questions, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion will pass. Move on to number 3. Animal control request for employee restructure. Tyler, right?
So the reason that we put this behind the request for a promotion is I needed to make sure that there would be now a vacant kennel attendant position available to make this request. Instead of moving forward to fill the now vacant kennel attendant position, since Officer Ferreira now is promoted, I would like to, instead of hiring a full-time kennel attendant, I would like to split that position to 2 part-time positions at 29 hours apiece. That'll add an additional $18 or 18 hours of labor per week for our department and save approximately, I believe it was $5,000 to $6,000. One full-time kennel attendant position plus benefits equals out to about $61,000 per year for the county. And with 2 part-time positions at 29 hours apiece, we're looking at about $55,000 per year. So that could be in reference to that Excel spreadsheet that you're looking at.
Does the motion need to include the 29 hours per week? Because it does not at this point. It just says part-time.
I don't
Or is
believe,
that assumed?
I believe that is assumed.
Okay.
Anything over 30 hours would be ACA eligible, therefore need benefits. So 29 hours would be
Is
the
considered
cap.
the part.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Yes.
I have another question, Sharon.
Yes.
I'm back on the spreadsheet, Erica. I see the budgeted amount that you mentioned. I also look at the available balance of 137,000 in revenues, and you drop it down to the expenses. You take the 137. Yeah, 137, and you go look at the expenses, which is 173. That comes up with the 35,000 negative. By your own projections, it appears by this spreadsheet, based on expenses, year-to-date, it's indicating a deficit.
I was looking at the amended budget for 2025, which has a difference of $249.
Well, that's different than the spreadsheet, correct?
Well, it's on the spreadsheet. It's the
All right.
2025 amended budget, the first column. So yes, we are looking at budget amendments. We're doing a full budget sweep to see where on his budget can we save. We're in the process of looking at that before we go into the 26 budgeting. But yes, with the current projections, it shows that it would be a negative 35,000, but we're hoping to correct that based on revenues coming in. And
I got to
fixing some
stop you there.
expenditures.
Even at amended budget, looking at this spreadsheet, it still shows a negative. The only thing that made sense to me at the moment is revenue coming in. Would you give the board an indication of what type of revenue would be coming in that would be able to sustain that? Because I'm looking at a spreadsheet, whether amended or not, and it's bracketed abnormal, and the expenses over or greater than revenues, no matter how you look at it. And I'm only asking this, Tyler, to maintain solvency within the county to some degree.
And actually, it appears to be the budget is to the good. 419,800 in revenue, 419,551 in expenditures is the budget. So $249 to the positive.
$249.
In the budgeted, yes, $249 to the positive in the budgeted 2025 amended budget. Now, as
But
for,
look across the expenses and the activities. That's the 25 amended. Does that amended include right up to August 31st? Because
Well,
usually you start with that and then deduct.
that's the amended budget as approved by the board.
Right. Well, that was then.
Correct,
This is now. This is
correct. So
eight
that would
months,
be
9
the,
months, almost 9 months into the year.
yep, that would be the year-to-date balance.
Are you sure you understand this spreadsheet?
Yes, I'm sure I understand this spreadsheet.
I'm not.
Well,
so
let
sure.
me pull up the one you're looking at, because I don't have it on
Chairman,
my.
I'll defer. I just made a point here that when we get information, the first thing I look for is negative in a department. And I know what an amended budget is, I know what the budget is, but I look at what are we at today? That's where we started after we amended. And it shows, and they now, until the end of the year, I guess, because we agreed to differ on this. we'll wait and see how you end up. And you would be the first one to know because you would be watching this.
Right.
Scroll up to
Yeah.
the heading.
So if I may real quick, I have not looked at budget amendments yet for 2025. I'm going off of the year-to-date balance, the August, up into August 31st of 2025. Our revenue for the county is 282,222. Our expenditures for the county are 246.
Mhm.
So we are under budget on both of those, but our revenue, we are 67% through the revenue expected for the county, and we are only at 58% of the expenditures through the county. So we aren't creating as much revenue as our 419,800 amended budget for 2025, but we're also not spending nearly as much as well. So we are still spending less than we are making, if you will.
So if I may, so on the spreadsheet, there's the 2025 amended budget. The year-to-date balance is what we spent to date or received in as revenue. Would you take one step forward? Thank you.
Oh.
And then the monthly activity is what we've spent this month alone, and the available balance is the difference between column 1, 2025 amended budget minus year-to-date. That's the difference.
And that's the 35.
Correct.
And what's that mean to you?
Will you scroll down to the next page, right? Last page? Oh, up one. So 35, where do you see 35?
Very bottom, right there,
Oh,
just
okay.
behind deputy clerks.
He's looking at the.
Second page.
That'd be the
Page
second,
two?
page 2 of 2.
Right there.
Yeah, there you go.
It's on the screen.
So available, that is in the available. So that means that of the expected revenues, we have yet to receive 137,000. Of the expected expenditures, we have not expended 177,000.
I guess I'm gonna question that in a sense. It's available balance. It's an interesting way of labeling it, just as you described it. Doesn't make sense in traditional accounting, but
Well, this is a BSNA report. I just put it in there for you to see that he is trying to save money in his budget and get additional 18 hours of work per week by splitting the position.
so your position is we're solvent at this present time,
Correct.
regardless of this spreadsheet of BSNA. Is BSNA the problem then?
Well, the titles are odd, yes.
You have an advantage to opportunity to change the titles to look more reflective of what it means?
You can export and change them, yes, but you cannot change the heading out of a report that they create.
I guess I have no further questions, Chairman. I'm just trying to figure out how to read this.
Chairman,
Move on.
so Eric, he's used 58% of his budget. Is that what I heard?
58% of his expenditures,
Yep.
and he's received 67% of his revenue to date. One more thing, Commissioner, our HR Director Shelley did discuss the split with the union representative, and there was no issue with splitting the position from a full-time to a part-time after that discussion. We would not want to bring it to the board without first discussing it with the union.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I move to approve per recommendation of the Animal Control Director Tyler Ray that the full-time kennel attendant position established under motion 2024-M-239 to be restructured back to part-time kennel attendant positions at the rate of $16.82 per hour. All necessary budget amendments are authorized.
Or
Been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Barlow. Move to approve per the recommendation of Animal Control Director Tyler Ray that the full-time kennel attendant position established under motion 2024-M-239 be restricted back into two part-time kennel attendant positions at the rate of $16.82 per hour. all necessary budget amendments are authorized. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Move on to number 5. We did number 4, we'll move on to number 5. Sheriff Robinson's purchase request for a speed alert radar sign.
Might be connecting remotely.
There's no presentation?
Yeah,
Oh, I
there's
see.
Under sheriff's.
Hi, this is Under Sheriff Baxter. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
The Sheriff's Office is seeking approval to purchase another speed alert radar message sign through All Traffic Solutions. The funds would be used from the grant-based, our 416 Secondary Road Patrol Fund. It's state funds. The grant allows for this purchase. The cost of the sign and required equipment to go along with it is $18,251.13. The budget for that program ends here at the end of September. We currently have an excess of about $87,000 in that fund that we would not be able to spend in a month's time. So they do allow for equipment purchases. We did check with the state program people that operate that, and they approved that up front, so that would be acceptable purchase.
Any questions for Under Sheriff Baxter?
I'd like to ask a question if I may.
You ready?
Under Sheriff, where's this going to be used? I mean, is there a targeted area or is this just wherever Tuscola County?
So it can only be used on secondary roads, and we have one now. It's about 15 years old and starting to show its age. But we deploy them in problem areas or where the public sends in requests to have them put out. So mainly not in the winter, but the rest of the year we deploy them all over the county.
No further questions.
Chair, I move to approve the request from Sheriff Ryan Robinson to purchase a speed alert radar message sign from the All Traffic Solution in the amount of $18,251.13 to be paid in line item 101-333-978-010 using the Secondary Road Patrol PA 416 grant fund and authorize all necessary signatures.
Support.
The move by Commissioner Luke, support by Commissioner Barlow to move to approve the request from the Sheriff Ryan Robinson to purchase a speed alert radar message sign from All Traffic Solutions in the amount of $18,251.13 to be paid from line item 101-333-978-010 using the Secondary Road PA 416 grant funds and authorize all necessary signatures. That is the motion. And more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion has passed. Thank you, Under Sheriff.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a good day.
Move on to number 6, Road Commission Fund Transfer Request.
Yes, Commissioners, Mr. Mike Tuckey of the Tuscola County Road Commission brought in his request for the local bridge millage funds. It would be a bank transfer, and he provided all of the documentation necessary.
Any questions on this? Something that we do every year, I guess.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the fund transfer request voucher number bridge 2025-1 from Mike Tucky, Finance Director, Tuscola County Road Commission, in the amount of $984,176.72 from the 296 voted Bridge Millage Fund 296 to the 201 County Road Fund 201.
Or,
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Bardwell, to move to approve the fund transfer request voucher, Bridge 2025-1 from Mike Tucky, Finance Director to Tuscola County Road Commission, in the amount of $984,176.72 from the 296 voted Bridge Millage Fund 296 to the 201 County Road Fund 201. That is the motion. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion has been approved. Move on to number 7. Request to hire Connie Kinda for the vacant chief account position. Erica Dibble.
Good morning. We interviewed several candidates and we brought a few back for a second interview. And Connie has over a decade of experience in government accounting. She works for another county and she has vast BS&A experience. So we would like to offer her the role. We would like to start her at step 2 so that we can secure her employment here.
Any questions for Erica on this?
well, yes, Chairman, I just, the Personnel Committee's reviewed this. To any degree, or is it, or no?
No.
Okay. So for everyone listening and all those who are looking at the county and in the future, what other information can you provide for us? I mean, you're asking me, maybe the rest of the board as well, to approve something that, to stamp it without a resume or.
Well, typically the department head reviews and determines their recommended person and brings that to the board, correct?
Right, in
That's correct.
this position, it's usually not a personnel meeting discussion like it would be on controller's part or whatever part. It's usually done by the department head on this position.
But yet, Chairman, this board that is true, it can be true, but it's not always been that problem in that past precedent. This board is responsible for the financial aspect of this county. That's its that is its first duty. And so what we're doing is relying on the administrator blindly, which is, that's the way that the board is operating now, to make a decision without even describing to the board, why is this individual qualified and what makes this individual qualified and what experience has this individual and what can she add that we don't have now? Those are the types of questions that linger in my mind, Jim.
Well, she has vast BS&A experience. One moment, and I will pull out. I think it's right here. She's a Tuscola County resident. She currently commutes to another county.
What's to another county?
She commutes to another county. Let's see. So over a decade of BS&A, budget development, fund accounting, year-end close, internal controls, audit compliance, bank reconciliations. We had her in, we did a generic interview in the beginning, and then we brought her back in for a more in-depth interview the second time and asked her more in-depth questions. Again.
So okay, that's a procedural question. What about her experience? In other words, okay, she has BS&A, but normally BS&A is not timely talked about here. It's usually used, well, that's BS&A. I appreciate that. But what else? What kind of experience is she bringing? How many years? What's the credentialing?
10 years of
Where-
experience
Okay. of
in
what?
government accounting.
Where?
Well, I did not know as if I should discuss that until it's
Well,
cleared,
do
as
you
I
realize
don't
this
want
is
to.
foiable? Anybody can foil this.
I understand, but I don't want to impact her current employment if you don't elect her to, or appoint her to the role. So I guess I'm looking
Well, you put
to,
her name on an agenda, which is public
Correct.
knowledge.
correct?
So that is moot compared to this.
So I guess I'm leaning toward the board chair. Is that something I would typically discuss in a public
Well,
meeting?
you know,
Yeah.
now that her name's been out there, it was
Okay.
fine. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean, if we were doing blind, but yeah, you know, as far as the name's been out there, but I know, you know, that she does streets in another county, and I know you said that she has a lot of experience in what you guys are looking for.
She does. So she is, she works in the fiscal analyst department of Genesee County.
So she came from county government.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is very unusual. I find this very unusual, Chairman, but I'll defer to you because the Personnel Committee hasn't done a tertiary review for the board, which is usually the Personnel Committee would advise the board to some degree, but I just saw this walk in and with no attachments on the agenda, and it says, okay. The real end of the line here, when the rubber hits the road, is going to be in December, January, February. And all I want to make sure, and I'm sure the board, is that the competency, what you don't have or other people don't have, she brings. So you all have something unique but germane to the county. And not to say this individual is not anything other than that. It's just with all the financial projections and questions and concerns, certainly from this perspective, since this board is responsible, as I mentioned earlier, we want to make sure that we have the best that we can get.
And I believe that this candidate is the best candidate that we interviewed. We interviewed many very qualified candidates with various levels of degrees.
Who all sat in the interview process with you?
Shelley, myself, and we did ask Clayette to sit in as well, so she could ask questions as well. But she helped us build the questions. She just participated on a silent level, and she helped us build the questions and the assessments in advance. And then she just sat and listened and took notes. And then when we were done, we reviewed all the candidates together and we voted, you know, we all ranked them in our own way. And then when we were done, we went back together and all of us picked this candidate as our top pick. The other candidates, there was 2 more candidates that were tied for second place. So we all were unanimous in this selection. So that's why we brought her back for a second interview and asked her more in-depth questions. I think she's the top pick. I think that she could walk in and pick up very easily on where we're at and jump right in.
Mr. Chair. So is Clayette still going to stick around to work with her?
Yes, so Clayette's current end date is September 19th. We have a projected start date of this candidate of September 15th. So we possibly will ask the board to extend Clayette 1 more week. So we have some time with her since Clayette's only here 1 day a week or 1.5 days a week. But we're trying to figure that out with scheduling. If Clayette is able to have a day or 2 with the candidate before the end of the September 19th date, and we won't be coming back to the board to ask for 1 more week. Who we would like her to have a few, you know, a day or so with Clayette, maybe 2 if possible, to, this is where, this is where you find this is where you find that. But Clay has been showing me those things, we're working together on a lot of different things, making sure I have all the proper accesses to all the different entities of things that are going to be coming down the pipe that I don't have access to.
Chairman, if I may, there's one, I'll address the board. When I was chair, we all had at that time, and Commissioner Vaughn, you to remember, commissioners who wanted to get into operations. And boy, struggled with that because boards are not to be in operations, which is sort of a weight on a board because it places all the responsibility upon the individual that reports to the board, which is you. Although there are ways to make the board feel comfortable in terms of check the references. I'm assuming there weren't references checked.
Shelley checked the references.
Okay, so because of the nature of the secrecy, I was surprised that you said that.
Well,
And
Shelley's the HR director, so that would be within her purview, correct?
well, it would be, but normally when you ask somebody, when you say, I want to mention your name because they have employment, you're very sensitive until, it's because once you check the references, you're putting that on the back, but that's the moot point now. And I'm thinking that, Chairman, I'll defer to you as the chair because you're driving the bus in the back and you've got some insight into this. And I just want to make sure that all the rest of the elected and the appointed feel as comfortable. And hopefully they feel more comfortable than I. And I truly believe you picked a good candidate. And I would suspect that she has greater skills than you do. Correct?
I don't understand the question.
Well,
I would-
So,
I would-
I think
I'm
that,
saying
I believe
Go
that
there.
was an
Chairman, I'm
insult,
saying this,
Mr.
Erica,
Commissioner,
because-
that was an insult to me.
It's not an insult to you.
It was.
It's because if you are a leader, and I've said this before in the same meeting, if you'd like to watch YouTube, that you hire the best in the areas that you're not well versed in. And I just wanted to know from your perspective, you would have said, yeah, she has areas that I could really use, but you took it as an insult. No further questions.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the request from the Controller Administrator Erica Dibble to hire Connie Kyneth to fill the vacant Chief Accountant position. The start date on or around September 15th, 2025, starting at step 2, the wage scale is $60,559.12 annually. Due to her many years of experience in working local county government accounting, appointment is contingent upon the satisfied completion of the background check and drug screen and physical.
I'll support that, Chairman.
It's been moved by Commissioner Root, supported by Commissioner Bardwell, to move to approve the request from Controller Administrator Erica Dibble to hire Connie Kyneth to fill the vacant Chief Accountant position with a start date on around September 15, 2025, starting at step 2 on the wage scale of $60,559.12 annually. Due to her many years of experience in working local county government accounting, appointment is contingent upon the satisfactory completion of a background check, drug screen, and physical. That is a motion and more discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion has been passed, approved. Old business. Economic development. Draft agreement.
Chairman, was that to be on the consent agenda? At one time, what was the question that put it off the consent agenda?
Wasn't the one question we wanted to ask about
The
liability
insurance.
insurance?
Insurance.
remember?
The insurance
We
part of it.
wanted to check on the liability insurance.
Got it.
Erica, what'd you find? You
I did find out, there in the board packet is the email between myself and Seth from MMRMA. He said that the tenants should have liability insurance as well as content insurance. So
So we in the county have liability, but the tenants.
they should have their own. it's not a deal breaker, but he's recommending at the very least that they have content insurance and liability insurance.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Makes sense.
content is.
Content for sure. But to protect yourself, they should probably have some kind of
And I did clarify with him, I replied and sent him, a copy of the draft agreement here and explained that it is a $0, it's not a true leasor, right?
right.
Relationship. So I sent that to him for review, and then he can come back and we can work with it. But the EDC is also a member, I believe, of MMRMA. So I'm sure that we can work something out to cover each other.
So do we go ahead on this motion?
I'd like to add additional questions.
Go
So
ahead.
does MSU have liability and content?
I don't know the answer to that. I am planning to reach out to them, but we are already in agreement. We already have an agreement with them. So yes, I need to reach out to them with the recommendations of MMRMA and ask if they currently have that and if they could provide us with a copy.
I know what she was looking for last time she was in here, and she could find that they had liability. When she was sitting there, she was looking for it.
Yeah, I remember that. I was just thinking if it's, I mean, it is a county building. From a legal standpoint, where does the liability for, trip fall? Otherwise, you'd have three entities in there. You'd have the county, you'd have MSU, and you'd have EDC, which is really, I mean, you see what I'm saying? It seems odd, doesn't it?
You'd have three.
Unless you're a renter. If we were paying rent, would make more sense if MSU was paying rent and they were paying rent. But since it's,
I would say the liability basically falls on the county.
yeah, it'll fall on the county.
It falls on the county more than it would MSU or EDC.
I would
Because
think.
we're
The
not getting-
contents would fall on them.
Yeah, somebody broke in there, stole all their equipment stuff would fall on.
And that's the content. I mean, that is, renters have content. Yeah. If you own, yeah. Interesting question that's never been brought up before until now.
I mean, Lord forbid if there was a fire, the building's gonna be covered, but what about the contents of the building? If there
That's
was-
why the renters.
Yeah, they'd have to have renter's insurance, I would think.
And if they didn't have renters, they wouldn't have any.
Right.
Any claim. But I'm not sure how much it's probably vastly more county equipment, isn't it?
I would think MSU would have some equipment in there.
It was an empty building when is that sort of how it is, Mike? Desks and all the,
Most of the furniture is county furniture.
Is it?
I don't know, Chairman, if it's worth holding this up or,
I don't believe it's worth holding. It's something that we can still look into going down the road, moving forward. As far as holding this up, I don't think, unless we expect somebody to trip and fall tomorrow. But I don't think it's worth holding up.
in that case, I'll make a motion to approve the draft agreement with the Economic Development Commission, EDC, and Tuscola County with an effective date of August 28th, 2025 for the shared use of 362 Green Street, Carroll, Michigan, and authorize all necessary signatures.
I'll support that.
The moved by Commissioner Barwell, supported by Commissioner Luce, to move to approve the draft agreement with Economic Development Commission, EDC, and Tuscola County with the effective date of August 28th, 2025 for the shared use of 362 Green Street, Carroll, Michigan, and all authorized signatures necessary. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion has been approved. Okay, next under old business, we're gonna go to the opening bids for Michigan State Police parking lot, Mike Miller, building and grounds. And I see you got in there sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
You, go ahead.
Well, I see that we done this on Monday. This is your recommendation
Yeah,
here.
bids were open on Monday, and I'm coming back to you with my recommendation for Jaeger Asphalt. They met all the specifications, and they are the low bidder. And we've used them for several projects, and always had good luck with them.
Chair, I move to approve the bid received from Jaeger Asphalt in the amount of $22,770 for the Michigan State Police MSP parking lot and all authorized signatures.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Barrow, to move to approve the bid received from Jaeger Asphalt in the amount of $22,770 for the Michigan State Police parking lot and authorization of all necessary signatures. Any more discussion? All fair say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Number 3, the update of the People State Bank previous bill air double.
It's the same spreadsheet that I provided on Monday. However, I updated it with colors and better column headings for your understanding, as well as a total on the right that excludes the furniture. So you can see the separation between the building expenses and the furniture expenses. Also met with Director Miller and discussed the final invoice. So I believe that we will come in closer to budget than we discussed on Monday.
Chairman, when you say closer to budget, what is that? What's the variance?
So we discussed that there was going to be roughly 7,000 over budget, and it appears now that it's going to be $1,500, something like that.
That's what it appears to be, yes.
Over what we set aside.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah,
So
that's
very,
good,
very
especially with all
close.
the change orders that
Yeah.
came in and back and forth. So we were pretty close, real close on what we thought that would. Right.
That's good.
Number 4, updated fund balance report on Erica Newman.
So on Monday, we discussed the assigned, unassigned fund balance. And I wanted to give you a better explanation of that. So the unassigned balance at the beginning of the year, with the budget of 2025, the board approved use of fund balance of $650,000. So that takes the unassigned, including the PGS, to $2,178,000. And then we have the assigned balance of $2,917,000 for the 17%. So this, would you mind bringing that up for me? Should be that yep, that one. Thank you. So this shows the impact on fund balance is the $650,958. So this shows that the unassigned, or PGS, is included in the unassigned, but the complete unassigned, all that's available is the $2,178,000. That is the general fund balance. So yes, those other amounts are included in there. The 17% is included. However, it is reserved, so we should not touch it. So truly, the available unassigned is the $2,178,000. So really, there is no more PGS. It's all one fund. It's all unassigned general fund balance.
Chairman,
Yeah.
I remember talking to Neil and I questioned him on the 6 million when he was using full accrual and at a time when it didn't make a lot of sense. And then I remember you said it was 6 million last time we met. And I pulled out Clat's budget book and it was $5,350,000. You know, if you look at this, this is sort of the telling tale, and I'm welcome to anyone that can make it sound better. Is you take the reserves and you take the PGS funds, which is 2,178, and Clat had back at that time 1,898. So I don't know, I didn't do the difference to see if it would, you could track it back. But it's over $5 million. That's, when we look at that 6344, 6 million that, as you just said, is restricted. Other than, I mean, you have the unassigned to PGS, but I'm just struggling at 2.1 versus 1.9 or versus left, because I know 651, as you just said, or so went out of it last year for this
So-
year.
Regarding that, Commissioner, Clayette and I worked together on that tracker, and we found that there were some approved funds that were not used. So that was a thorough audit done between myself and Clayette all the way back to the beginning. She did recently find one after I presented it on Monday. There was one more thing that was found, which was $25,000. So that will impact that tracker by $25,000.
So looking, thank you for that. So looking, just to do the quick math, you've got about $1 million, taking out the reserves out of the 6, let's just use that. We've got $1.2 million. We've got $1,248,000, like $1,200,000 left somewhere. And out of that, if the projection's right, another 650 will come out this year, or at least she projected it, plus any of the transfer outs. Much what I was questioning on animal control, just to see across the board, because the budget has to be balanced, and you have to find cash, and that's where we found it last year, was in the GSP funds. So it's tracking the same as Neil had said. It's the 6 million, but it's a roll-up, as you just indicated, of the PGS and the reserves. So Erica, if we have $1.2 million to spend, let's just say for discussion purposes, is that going to cover us for this year? I mean, you've got some revenue coming in. I know wind energy, I had this written. We had another meeting earlier, it sort of Clayette gave the revenues, and wind energy was not a lot. Where do you see more revenue coming in at? And I have this fly that's,
I see it. He keeps bugging me too. So I believe that is enough, and Clayette believes that is enough for this year, but we are working on your 5-year projection. Again, and I'm really hopeful to have that next meeting, but I want to make sure when I present it's accurate. So we had to get the base done. This is helpful to show you are those funds broken down. And you had asked if we could separate the PGS funds into a separate line item. And I don't believe that is wise, because then you're locking down you don't have a lot of money to lock down. So that would only leave a very minimal amount in your available fund balance. So I recommend leaving it as it is, so that way it is usable if necessary. But I wanted you to see where we're at. And, currently I have not done a deep dive to see where can we find those pennies from heaven type thing. But we are working on that. We're working on ways mostly to save on expenditures. So, right now it's save on expenditures, and then we can work moving forward. How can we improve the revenue? But what can we fix today? Today we can fix, tightening up our purse strings. That's the fastest fix that will help us today.
And just to add to that, if it's really $1 million, let's just say it's $1.2 million, and you project it out on the far right-hand yellow up there, 650 deficit, which pretty much matches what Clayette had. That's a $500,000 or a little less that we're, 3/4, whatever. That's what we have left. If we take that out, if that's 650 has got to come out. And then what we have left, the remainder basically has to balance the budget, cover. I'm hearing that the health insurance is less than previous year. And negotiations. That's what makes me nervous.
I could be. And that 2.1 that you brought up, or what, isn't the 650 already already taken account for that.
It
So that's
is.
on top of that.
Correct. That's,
So we're not going from 2.1 down to another 6. That's already been accounted for on top
that's
of
correct.
that.
It's
Yeah,
that's why it's in
that's
it's in a higher line item, you'll
That's all,
see.
you know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at after the 650.
That's correct.
Let me just clarify. So the 650 is projected this year
Yes.
deficit is taking out of, where did it take, would take it out of GSP or where did you take it out of? It had to be, or I'm
Well-
sorry, PGS.
They haven't taken it out nowhere yet. It's just.
All right.
It's
It's
the,
projected, yeah.
yes, projected use of fund balance, but
Right.
she moved it to a different line, or not a different line item, how do I say? It's projected use of fund balance to balance the budget.
Right.
So it's locked down.
It's already in them figures that we're.
It's already in the figures. So the 21,708 already has the 650 subtracted. That's why it's in an,
We didn't even have that much, Chairman, last year. We had 1.9, we had 2, now we had another, see what I mean?
This is what, a couple weeks from now, hopefully, once we get past this, but you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be interesting, but
Yeah.
I remember that discussion I had with Clea about that, and that's why I remember her telling me, see, that's already in there locked down, so you
Yes.
can't count that again. So that's why I brought it back up, because I remember that conversation I had with her,
yes.
and, but in a couple weeks, you know.
More to come, I guess.
More to come, we'll get some projections out there.
So Chairman,
Yes.
so when Clayette was there, I mean, she had the general fund figure, and underneath that, she had the GPS funds or government service funds underneath that. Is that what you're saying? Separate them back out or to keep it together at the general fund?
So at the Monday's meeting, it was discussed to separate them out. However, I don't feel that we should do that. I discussed that with Clayette when she was here, and she agreed. Because if you put that in a separate line item, again, you're locking it down, which means so the PGS is included in the 2 million one.
Okay,
So if you take whatever the remaining balance is on the PGS, that now he's bothering me. He came over here. So
Appreciate that.
if you take that, then that's going to mean your unrestricted, unassigned fund balance in the general fund is $25,000.
okay.
I don't think that it's a good idea. I
Okay.
think that it'd be better to leave that in the same line item together.
In other words, the PDS money is no longer there.
Correct.
We're using, it's in our general fund now, you know,
Okay,
so when somebody comes in and make this PGS money for a road project, there's no PGS.
There is no more PGS.
It's really a talking point just because we went from ARPA to
Exactly.
PGS to.
Right.
What do we have left?
You're right,
It's now unassigned general fund balance.
right. Okay, more to come on that, like Chris Rose said, there's really more to come on that. Moving to correspondence and resolutions. The MAC conference, now, that's gotta be made up till tomorrow, we have,
Yes.
if whoever wants to go, if you wanna get hotel rooms, tomorrow is the day.
Registration for the event goes through September 19th, but the hotel room block and the rate associated with that ends tomorrow. So
What
if you,
are the dates again?
oh, they are September 30th through October 2nd, and it is at the Grand Traverse Resort this year. I do have, I believe I put it in the packet, the itinerary, the different sessions, agenda at a glance is in the packet for you as well. So I don't believe any motion is necessary, but any commissioners who would like to go, if you would get with our office today,
You have to do it today.
so we can get that sent
Mr.
in.
Barlow, what are you thinking? You thinking?
In terms of attending,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the agenda. I've been back and forth on this. Is there, and when you looked at the agenda from the board's perspective, is there anything there that caught your interest? I mean, community health redesign, you're going to hear more about that shortly because it's what we did with the resolution, things have really ramped up, but anything
I
else?
looked at it the other day, give me a rundown on it. I looked at it the other day, and I trying to think, there was a couple things on there that I thought was quite interesting, but I don't know, last year, when Commissioner Luce and I went with Commissioner Young, you learn sometimes more at lunchtime than you do during, just by talking to other county commissioners and other controllers or whatever, than you do sometimes from the workshops yourself. I don't know, I'm still kind of up in the air, but you gotta make a decision today, I guess.
Well, I think there's one here that should interest all. It's really interesting. It's the number one. It's a different kind of career, undercover in the CIA. That's the first agenda item I've ever.
Is that there?
Yeah, it's on there.
well-
I ever saw Mac put on there. Are they recruiting or what? Anyway, that was number one.
So anyway, I guess if the interested, we have to do it today, have to get with the controller's office today and get the room set up. Marion County resolution. On there. Anybody got any comments on the Marion County resolution?
When I read this, I was wondering what Tyler was thinking, but I don't think you've seen this.
I did get a chance to
Oh.
review it real quick. I don't have a copy with me, but if you had any questions, you had to do it. Discuss it.
You didn't think it mirrors quite a bit, well, like what we got now, you said.
What's that?
There's nothing that you see that we need to change on our end.
Not really, no. There's a couple differences on there, but not something that I think that would be in the best interest of the county.
Do you have any insight on why this resolution was important to them? What happened or anything like that?
Not really. Not really. I don't even recall in the last 7 years that I've been here that we've ever received a resolution from another county. So I'm not sure if it's just their county policy that if they do make some changes in one of their departments, that they do just kind of let the other counties in the state know what they're doing to see if we kind of want to follow suit. But
I believe this resolution is in support of proposed Senate Bills
Yeah.
293 and
Senate
294. I don't believe it's changes that they've made yet.
okay.
It's supporting Senate bills. So they're lending this resolution
Gotcha. Okay.
just to show their support of these two bills,
Mhm.
whatever those bills reference, you would know that best. That's how I read it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Thank you.
Well, I just read here, Tyler, the word so seizing agency or pay for the cost of the animal's care and housing with a bond. That's what caught my interest. It really, you gotta be bonded. You bonded? I don't know what that is. Okay.
I would have to review it again. I don't even have a copy with it.
All
I could definitely dissect it more if you'd like, and I could go in front of the board in the next meeting and discuss it further.
Yeah, it's up to you, Chair.
I think, yeah,
Curious.
if you look at it, there's something that you think needs to bring our attention to. Bring to the board.
Yeah,
If not-
I'll bring it to the board.
If not Tyler or.
Okay. Thank you.
Move on to Commissioner Liaison reports. I've really got nothing to report on this morning. Mr. Goodchild is not here. Mr. Bardwell?
Well, behavioral health meets tonight and certainly get an update. And there was a meeting last night with the region and all over the funding and the state's I call it overreach in terms of consumer care, really taking it out of the hands of the locals. And as you know, we went through that presentation. The EDC, I think we pretty much know what's going on there. Max 7th, I'll have to look. Renee was always the one who reminded us. We missed the last meeting or when it wasn't announced, but there should be one coming up, so we'll have to get back to you. Workers' comp is in a week. Finance committee is in September on a Friday. And RAC is today. No further questions? There's no further questions.
Commissioner Lutz.
I have nothing, sir.
And Commissioner Cook is not here. Is there any other businesses necessary? Don't see nothing under other businesses necessary. Still the public comment. Anyone want to address the board this morning? Still the public comment? The extended public comments addressed the board this morning. Let the record show, ma'am, that public comment was offered. We had no participants. With that, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Barbaro, to adjourn the committee meeting this morning. We want to thank everyone who joined us this morning, everybody in the boardroom, and with that, we'll stand adjourned. I want to call to order the statutory finance part of the meeting this morning. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Goodchild, Commissioner Bardwell,
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn,
Here.
Commissioner Lutz.
Here.
Commissioner Cook. We have a quorum, you may proceed.
Thank you. Action on our previous meeting minutes.
Chair, make a motion on the action of previous minutes of statutory finance of August 14th, 2025.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Barbaro, to approve the statutory finance minutes from August 14th, 2025. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes have been approved. Let's move into new business. The review and approval of the finance report and checks.
Chair, I review and approve the finance report check 8/28/25 financial docket.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Bardwell, to review and approve of the finance report and checks of the 8/28/25 finance docket. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those have been approved. Review and approval of the daily report and checks.
Chair, I make a motion, review and approve of the daily reports and checks 8/28/25.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Bardwell, to review and approve of the daily report and checks 8/28/25 of the daily docket. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion has been approved. Review and approval of the per diem report and checks.
Chair, I review and approve the per diem reports and checks, August 2025 per diems.
Support.
Been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Bardwell, to review and approval of the per diem report and checks, August 2025 per diem. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion has been approved. I see nothing under old business. Do you have any public comment on our statutory finance part of the meeting this morning? Public comment on the statutory finance part of the meeting this morning? Let the record show that public comment was offered. We had no takers. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn the statutory finance.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lutz, supported by Commissioner Bardwell, to adjourn the statutory finance part of this morning. With that, stand adjourned.